You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off you. You'll be like heaven to touch.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, I am Milk and this is Milk Astrology. We're going to do the usual. If you've been watching my channel recently, you know that I've been doing tarot predictions. We're just gonna
Good to be true. Can't take.
So for air signs this week, I would prefer that you apply your rising, but you can apply your sun, moon, Mars, or Venus. I just feel like the rising sign will be the most accurate for you, but you can do what you feel is best. Gemini rising, Aquarius rising, and Libra rising. This reading is for you. And I have meditate and contemplate, new moon in Pisces, and it feels like the beginning of this week is a bit more shakier for you than towards the end of this week. I have 3 of Cups reversed and 9 of Wands reversed in the beginning of the week. So it looks like you kind of go through a sense of issues with other people. I think there's something about someone in your life at the moment that is making you incredibly defensive, and I feel like they're making you a bit paranoid. I also feel like maybe they're inserting their opinions, or they're inserting their business or their nosiness into your life. And I don't really feel like that it's warranted or it's wanted. Instead of establishing boundaries, you've been kind of going quiet and receding into yourself. And instead of, standing up for yourself, you've been kind of defensive or paranoid. I don't feel like it's a situation that you're comfortable, you're ready to address just yet. I just feel like you've been letting it bother you, and it's been kind of festering over for you for a while now. So this beginning of the week seems like there's going to be some tension in the home or with people that you care about. It just feels like you're I feel like you're annoyed with something. It's not necessarily that you're like in a negative headspace as much as you're just getting agitated with a situation or a person. And then towards the end of the week, you do have 6 of Wands and Page of Wands upright. So this is very positive. I don't know if maybe you had a conversation with these people or this person and you resolved a lot of issues. I don't know if maybe you channeled all of your personal life issues into your work life, and now you're getting a lot of public recognition, or you're getting some kind of positive feedback towards the end of the week. I feel like maybe this could be like a social media hobby or venture. Maybe you started some kind of career aspect and it started to pay off for you. There's a sense of something paying off for you towards the end of the week, so that's incredibly positive. But I do feel like the beginning of this week is going to feel a bit overwhelming. I think you have the tendency to bottle or deflect things instead of taking them head on, and that could be why you channel it into other outlets or other hobbies, and it seems like it's paying off. Now, this doesn't have to mean that you become like instantly lucky all of a sudden. I mean, this doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to like win the lottery towards the end of the week. Nothing crazy drastic will happen, but I do feel like it's going to be something that you channel your energy into that pays off and makes you feel better. Maybe it doesn't heal necessarily the situation with these people, but I do think it makes you feel better overall with yourself, and that's really all that matters. And I also have new moon in Pisces, meditate and contemplate, so it doesn't really feel like right now you're going to act on whatever issue is bothering you. I feel like you're going to let it sit for a while. And again, it does seem like you're going to be channeling your energy into other outlets right now because you're avoiding talking about what's bothering you with these people. I don't think that they're people you really just want to talk to. Maybe it's like a family member that's bothering you. I don't really know, but I do feel like you're going to channel it into another area of your life, and it's going to be positive for you in that regard. But at the same time, I do feel like if this is a reoccurring issue for you, you should probably just sit down and talk to these people. But yeah, right now it's a good time to just take a step back and contemplate everything, evaluate, take your time. Don't necessarily say something that you're going to regret later. Make sure that you're feeling out the situation instead of just reacting to it. Another note for air signs, I do think this could also mean that like be careful of flattery, be careful of like an overwhelming amount of positivity, be careful of who's flattering you. I think not all flattery is good flattery. Again, Three of Cups reversed indicates there could be some hiccups with your relationships, could be having you paranoid. And it does seem like some good is going to happen this week for you, so don't be scared of everything that's going to take place. I do think that this week will overall be a very positive or uplifting week for you, but I think you need to be a bit skeptical of your relationships right now, and I think you need to make sure that the energy you're putting into people is the same energy you're getting back. Now, also on another note, I don't think that you're going to have problems per se in your relationships, but I do think this is about reassessing what you want and making sure that people are on the same page as you. Establishing boundaries is a huge theme, and I do feel like making sure someone's not sticking their nose where they don't need to be, making sure people respect the people in your life and they're not, I don't know, disrespecting you. I also don't think you should bottle things up. I think if you're feeling defensive or paranoid, you should address it. But overall, it does seem like you're going to get a lot of positive feedback this week. It looks like your public life will be going very well. I don't know if this means like you post a good selfie on Instagram and then you get lots of interactions with it. Like, I don't know what that means for you. Maybe your Animal Crossing island is looking great lately, but I do think that your interpersonal relationships should take a focal point of this week for you. I do think you shouldn't avoid them or run away from them. I think if something's bothering you, you need to address it, because running away from things will not make things better. And then also, again, just because strangers are giving you instant gratification doesn't mean that it's, you know, it's hollow. It's a little hollow. So make sure that you're prioritizing the commitments and bonds that you have with people that matter in your life, and that you're not prioritizing the wrong things this week, because it looks like this could be an issue if you get ahead of yourself and find yourself putting your like family or your relationship on the back burner to accommodate something that in the grand scheme of things isn't that important. So yeah, and that is this week's very confusing reading. I feel like air signs got the most confusing reading from me this week, and it's because it just seems so, it seems very like 50-50. Like, it could go very great this week or very weird this week. The energy is weird, but again, it looks like there will be some good notes, so that's positive. But yeah, that is my reading for air signs or air risings. Now for earth risings, I would prefer that you apply a rising sign. You can apply your sun, moon, Mars, or Venus. I just feel like the rising will be the most accurate. So Capricorn risings, Virgo risings, Taurus risings, this reading is for you. So I have the Hermit reversed and Queen of Wands reversed. So it feels like lately you've been receding into yourself. You've been not really wanting to discuss things that are bothering you. I feel like you've been kind of taking the back seat or like observing for a while. But I also feel like you've been in your head a lot. I feel like you've been overwhelmed, or you've been letting like these doubts really weigh on you or determine what your reality is versus like what is actually happening in front of you. And I also have Four of Cups. So it looks like you're burnt out lately. It looks like you need to reevaluate some things in your life. Maybe this is why you've kind of been isolating a little bit more than standard self-isolation right now. I feel like you've been kind of overwhelmed or maybe avoidant of wanting to discuss or address something. But then I also have Ace of Wands reversed, to have an idea of what you want to do, but I just feel like you're overall very exhausted, and I feel like it's something that you don't want to do. I feel like it's something that has to do with maybe like a breakup, or maybe it's about talking to someone anymore in your life. I think that this reading could be about cutting people out of your life, or I think just taking time away from certain people. Maybe you're realizing that someone isn't who you felt like they were originally. And I feel like this is a sense of disappointment for you, because I feel like you didn't want to believe these things, but it's kind of like a niggling feeling at the back of your head. Like you can't really fight it or beat it off, because I feel like it's just kind of festering there for you. So I feel like you need to decide on something, but again, I just don't feel like it's something that you're ready to do or something that you want to do. I don't think you're excited about this. I think maybe it's like a longtime friend, or maybe it's about quitting your job and finding a new one. I feel like it's just like a change that you're very attached to and you don't want to move forward, but you feel like it's like what needs to be done at this point because your heart isn't in it anymore. So I feel like this week is about accepting change, accepting what you want to do in the future, and then taking steps to recognize that you're going to do it. I also feel like there's this overwhelming sense of feeling burnt out or frustrated right now, so taking time to yourself this week is incredibly important. I feel like I've said that every week though, so I just feel like making a point of make sure you're okay with yourself, that you're listening to your own needs and your own wants, because I feel like that's going to make your decision-making process a lot easier when you have to come to those conclusions. I also have hold your vision, fixed moon. So it looks like you've really been needing to be firm in your beliefs for a while now. And I feel like this is something that you're pretty good at doing, but I feel like this is a very emotionally close to home situation for you, and I feel like you kind of have to give tough love for someone in your life. It's kind of telling you, because I feel like earth signs in general, when you love someone, I feel like a lot of that toughness goes out the window. So having to really stand your ground and assert yourself or establish boundaries right now could be very hard for you, because I think it's someone that's very close to you. But I also think that it's incredibly helpful both for you and this person, and I feel like this is something that you're not going to regret later on. For fire risings, again, I would prefer you apply your rising sign. You can apply your sun, moon, Mars, or Venus, but this is for Aries risings, Leo risings, and Sagittarius risings. I feel like every single week lately I've been pulling this oracle card for you guys, so either you're not getting the message or you just need to be reminded. But I have new moon in Leo. Confidence is your key to a success. And I think this is so random too that I keep pulling this for my fire readings. You've been going through this really long period of doubting yourself or not being self-assured enough. And I feel like there's been this constant journey or war with yourself where you've just needed to remind yourself who you are and what you're made of, because I feel like this has been something that's been in question lately, whether this has been an internal issue or whether this has been like people questioning you or making you feel invalid. I feel like this has been an overall theme lately because I keep pulling this card for you guys, so I don't feel like that's something to ignore. I feel like this has been something that's been kind of building up to this for some time now, because I have death reverse, which means resistance to transformation or being stubborn about not accepting something is changing. You also have Knight of Swords, so reversed, so I feel like there's a sense of burnt out, exhaustion, fatigue. I feel like you've been going in a certain direction for some time now, and it's been incredibly draining for you. I also think that could be the result of why you're not letting go. I feel like it's something that you need to let go of, but I don't think it's something that you want to let go of. And then I also have King of Swords. So it looks like you've come to a very strong realization about something. It seems like you have a very clear understanding of your needs, what you want, and also like who people are right now. And I think that this is something that maybe you're trying to avoid. I don't think you want to make a decision or come to a conclusion, but I feel like it's something that you need to do this week. And I also think it's about reassessing people in your life. I feel like you've been aware of something for a while now, and I don't think that it's something that you really wanted to talk about or admit to yourself or to other people. I don't feel like it's kind of like the elephant in the room. I feel like it's just easier to not even acknowledge it, but it has been really weighing you down, and I think it has you acting out or like underacting in a lot of ways. Now you also have Knight of Cups reversed, and again, I feel like this issue that you've been holding on to lately has been really affecting your overall well-being, and I think it's making you a caricature of yourself. I think you're unrecognizable to yourself lately because you've been avoiding addressing what's going on. Like, it's like you just don't want to admit it. I don't know if it's like I don't know if you have someone in your life that you've just really been needing to have a conversation with, establish boundaries with, or maybe there's someone from your past that has been on your mind lately that you've been wanting to kind of get in touch with again or rekindle like a kind of friendship with again. Overall, it feels like you need to get something off of your chest, and it seems like you have that very clear understanding of what's going on around you. I think for a while you either didn't come to that conclusion or you were avoiding coming to that conclusion, but now it's about moving forward. It's about letting go of your baggage and letting go of your insecurities, because I feel like your insecurities have been kind of getting you in a chokehold lately and making you again just a different version of yourself. So it looks like you really need to just relax and you need to let go of things. I think you've been really weighed down too with like your past, and I think that's been really something that's popped up a lot recently for you, and you need to just kind of make amends with it or move forward, because you're stuck and you're unable to move forward right now because you've been so just dwelling on so many things right now that happened 5-10 years ago, and I don't think it's helping you. So again, like, you need to remember who you are. You need to have the confidence. You need to remember you're that bitch. Like, you need to just remember who you are, and you need to move forward, because I think whatever situation has been going on, I think, or has been building up for a while now, has you questioning yourself. And I think anything that has you questioning yourself, I mean, granted, yes, we should all be open to productive criticism and changing and getting better, but I think if you're just questioning your self-worth to the point that you don't even recognize what that is, then there's some changes you need to make. And whatever comes to mind when I say that, probably it for you. So just keep that in mind this week, because it looks like a storm has been brewing for a while now. Hi. This next reading is for water signs. I would prefer you apply your rising, so Cancer risings, Pisces risings, or Scorpio risings. This reading is for you. And yeah, so looking at this situation, I feel like someone new has come into your life recently, or is going to, and I think it's going to cause a lot of speculation, or it's going to cause some kind of, I don't want to say conflict, but I feel like that's probably what's going to happen. I feel like this is going to shake things up in your life with other people, and I have your commitment is being tested. First quarter moon, so I don't know if you're in a relationship right now or if you're single. I don't even know if this is a romantic person coming into your life, but I have Ace of Cups and 5 of Swords. So it looks like something fresh, something new is starting, but it's not going to be met with something very passive or accepting. It looks like you have a battle ahead of you, but it looks like it's worth it. Now, I don't know if this is a general reading. It's not a relationship reading. So like, if you're in a long-term happy relationship, don't get scared. I'm not saying that this is your relationship going to crash. Now, if you're single, I don't know. This is someone that's coming into your life and it looks really exciting for you. It could be maybe it's a pregnancy. I don't know. Or maybe it is a new relationship or a new friendship or a new business ship. Some kind of something's happening. And 2 of Swords comes up with this, so it looks like you have decisions to make. It looks like you need to purge some things from your life in order to accept changes and accept good, like, new fresh things coming into your life. But it also looks like, again, you're going to have to make some serious choices, because it looks like you're being faced with different past. You're being faced with different decisions right now. Decisions is a huge theme this week for you. Now 6 of Cups comes into play. I think this is really interesting because this does speak a bit about your past coming back. So maybe this is your past coming back, but maybe it's bringing some, future prospects for you. Like, I feel like this has you really reflective of your childhood. It has you reflective of your inner child in a sense. It has you thinking of things in a very excited, hopeful, curious way, kind of like how you did when you were younger. I feel like whatever is taking place right now is really shaking things up for you, and it has you in this very innocent, kind of jovial, excited state. And I don't think you've you felt that way in a while. But again, your commitment is being tested. So what is it that you're committed to? What matters to you? Is it, because keep in mind, this doesn't necessarily mean that whatever is coming into your life is there to stay. So I think it's important to make sure you're not chasing after the adrenaline of it. I think if something healthy and positive comes into your life, and there are some things in your life that aren't that great, and if you want to trade those off, I think that's great. But I think this is also something to kind of pay attention to. It does seem like your commitment is being tested, your faith is being tested, but it's also bringing into question, what are your priorities? I feel like maybe you had this very strong idea of what you wanted, and I think something's going to happen where it's going to make you reassess or reevaluate everything that you thought you wanted. And I think it's important that you remain open and you remain neutral. I don't think you should get ahead of yourself and, you know, break up with your long-term committed relationship over someone popping up from 5 years ago, because keep in mind, Venus is going retrograde. It is out of bounds in Gemini. This is not a great time for new relationships. So I don't know if that's, again, I don't even know if that's like what's happening. I feel like this is going to shake things up for you. Something is going to shake things up for you this week, and I feel like it's going to make you have to make a difficult decision, but I think you're going to be better for it. And I think it's going to really establish or reestablish your priorities in life, and also like your commitments to people, your relationships. And I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to bring some drama, but I think it'll be fun overall. You know, everyone needs a healthy amount of drama in their life. That's what I have for you. Now, if you guys did enjoy this, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to turn on all of your post notification bells. I post new videos every Saturday. Also, comment below, tell me what you thought of last week's video. Tell me, comparing it to how your week went. Tell me what you think of this week's video compared to what you think might happen this week for you. And I will see you in my next video. How you feel deep inside. I feel like this is about, lately you've been going through this really long period. Sorry. You've been going
too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off you.
You've been going through this really long period of doubting yourself and not being